Okay, before we start this, I just want to say a big thank you to my mate Cole, who's lent me his bench belt grinder so I can try and shape these flippers for the track properly. Went out there a couple of days ago, and like he said to me today, trying to do it there, then bring it back here to compare whether it's going to fit or not. Big mission. So he said take it home and bring it back when you finish. So thanks very much, mate. Really appreciate it. So let's see if we can make it work. Now that the flippers are all shaped and relatively good, hopefully, I'm going to put some flipper assemblies together. So I've got a bag of solenoids here, a few single ones I got. These are the switches that change polarity from negative to positive, so the flipper remains active as the car passes over it. A heap of bolts, nuts, parts, bits and pieces everywhere. So we'll set this up and we'll put it together. Right, so this is our, that's a bit dodgy actually. It'll still work. Actually no, use it. That one's a dodgy one, so I've got to print out another one of those. It's got a broken piece. This one will do the job. So what we need to do is get a bolt, which is here in the flipper. Now we need to put two nuts on the bolt to start with, so that we can lock them in place if we need to. So we'll put two down here. Oops. If I can get it on. Screw it right down to the bottom because we want to put the bolt up through the base of the flipper assembly. And the second nut, if the bolt was open-ended, that would make things a lot easier, but I could always cut it off, but I just think it looks a little bit more neater. There's no sharp bits with the end on it. So until such time I need to get rid of it, it can stay there. Now, need to work out which one of the holes is going to be. I think we'll locate it in that hole there. There's two pivot holes. You can either have it for a long flipper, have it back here, so the end of it can sit on the base, or a shorter one can sit there, because the solenoid is going to power through that hole. So one of these bolts, which are, where are they? Yeah. One of these bolts will come up from the solenoid into the base of the flipper and drive it. That's later on. Okay, so we need a washer. Stick a washer on there. Put this through the base, followed by another washer and a nut, which will lock against the flipper to stop it from moving once it's in the correct position. So wind that down. Now we get this, which is going to locate that way. Yep, cool. Screw this on. Oops, not like that. Swap hands to make it easier, so that's going to be the base. And there we go. I should have used a tap that only went halfway through, but it is what it is. And now we want to tighten that nut underneath it just so that the bolt sits just below the surface of the flipper. So I'll grab my little shifter, finger tight that into place first. Don't know if you can see that or not a very good angle. And then there's that. That's pretty good. So now I'll spin these underneath to lock it in place, so we'll get it ready to have it in the right position as long as it sits flat, which it appears to. Okay, so now we'll test it in the track. Right, so now I'll put this underneath, under here, there we go. That's sitting relatively well. It could be a little bit, I don't know, if we tighten that up, I'll tighten those nuts up to keep it pretty solid. Only has to move like a few mil, like that. So we'll try that, and we'll lock it in place. That should be okay. Now we'll fit it again underneath. And that's going to sit about there. That's pretty good actually. Sitting a couple of mil below the surface. So that will operate it by hand here. So that's closed, so the car will go maintain the line. That's open, so the car will change lanes. Cool, alright. That's a good fit, so we'll take it out. Now that fits, I want to get one of these little, what are they called? Micro switch. You can buy them at JCar, they're about $5 each. Or you can buy them on AliExpress, and I think it's 10 for $5. I bought one lot just to try them out to make sure they work first, and I'll buy more later if I need to. One thing I don't know is how far the actuator arm is. So that there, you can see. Listen for the click. That should change the polarity from negative to positive or positive to negative, and keep the power to the flipper so the car won't lose power over the brake and the braid. So now that will go that way, so that the bolt that comes through from the flipper will actually trigger the arm. So this is pretty fiddly. I'll put a couple of these little skinny bolts in here and hook it up. So where are they? They're over here. Two of these, very skinny, and two nuts. Go, you drop one of these, you'd never find it. Okay, so that's got to go underneath. Put the bolts through there. This assembly was designed by a fellow, and he kindly shared it with me so I could get the same sort of system as he's got, which works very well for him. So now I've got to get this right from the outset, otherwise I'm going to have to go back and change it all. Got to think about this. So that's going to sit there, and that's got to right, flip him over. That goes in there, like so. And the nuts, where are they? Here, tiny little nuts. Once I put this together and it fits well, what I'll do is I'll solder the wires onto these. So you have a positive, negative, and a wire that goes from the switch to the bolt that powers the flipper, so that you get the idea. Hang on. Spin it. So I'll spin that on. Very fiddly. Got a slightly different fit to the one from JCar, but they're still going to do the same thing, I'd imagine. This one, God, trying to drop it. Yeah, that's it. It's on. Somehow I've got to do them up tight, but I won't for now. That arm's sitting across a fair way compared to the other ones, so oh yeah, it's going to move. So that'll work. Oh, actually, here's one of the assemblies I had in the last truck. So what happens is, solenoid under here is powered by the lane brain, which is over there. can't see it, and it pulls the trigger, so it goes. If you hear the click, that's the polarity change. Right. Okay, so we'll screw the solenoid onto the assembly. Oops. There we go. It's going to go on there. Come on. Two. Beautiful. That's going to be nearly perfect. You can see where the hole is in the solenoid. The bolt will go through. I've got a bolt. This little bolt here will go through there, and that lever should just sit just off. There we go. That'll sit like, yeah, push it through like that. There we go. That'll go inside the aluminium flipper, and just off triggering the switch. So listen to this. As soon as it pulls it, activates it and changes polarity. That's exactly what I want. No lag, so to speak. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to do the second bolt up on the switch properly, because it's not done. So that's all there. Now what I've got to do next is I've got to work out where the hole's going to go in this to drill a hole through it, so that can sit just inside there. It's barely long enough, is it? Wow. I'll have to get some longer bolts actually. Interesting. Actually, I've got longer ones. Way too long. Way too long. But I can adjust that as needed, which I will put a nut either side of it to maintain the height. I've got to smooth the sides of this off too, actually. Okay, so that's that. What I want to do is mark a line underneath this so I know where to drill for the bolt to go into. So what I'm going to have to do, which is not very easy, is, hang on, let's see about that. Try drawing into this, mark into the bolts, then that work? Not really. Okay. Okay, so gonna have to go square it off. Okay. So after all that, I realised I've put it together on the wrong base. It's actually got to be the mirror opposite, because the flipper has to sit, hang on, we'll show you, in the track. It's got to sit like that, as normal, so the car can continue in the lane. That shouldn't be changing like that, it should be changing in the opposite direction. So once I put this back on the grinder and take the sharp edges off the sides of the aluminium, I'll round this off too so it doesn't foul against the wood. But I'll put it together on the right one, that'll be a good start. Turns out putting the assembly on this one being the wrong way was a bit of a blessing in disguise, because what I've done is the flippers from the old track, I've taken the aluminium blade off and put the new one on it, and it's perfect. Everything's wired up, ready to go. All I've got to do is a bit of modifying of this hole so the braid can go through it, because it sits to the side. So we'll get the Dremel out so I can make a mess. God, it stinks. Now it's going to be fun trying to get the little piece out. Don't know how I'm going to do that. Snap that off. Yes, beautiful. That should fit now. God, it stinks. Like a bloody mess too. It should. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Look at that. All I've got to do now is just round the edges off so it doesn't foul. That's really good. So, Carl, come round. Beautiful. That's good. Right. So I've got two flipper assemblies completed. This one will go in this one here. This one's a really nice solid fit. It's got no movement inside the base itself, which is really good. However, this one, for some reason, I'm not sure whether it was a dodgy print or whether I don't know, because it's the same print. It's just a little bit sideways movement inside the shaft, so not ideal. So I've ordered some brass tubes, so I'm going to put a sleeve inside there so the bolt will fit snugly inside so it can't move sideways. But just for a visual, this is this one. So what I'm going to do while I'm waiting for the brass tube to arrive is I'm going to get some heat shrink and isolate the wires down here so they can't touch, and potentially wire this one up. That sort of sits there like that, and where is it? That sits there like that. Car comes around. I've got to put a little nick in the side of the slot so that the flipper can sit inside the side. Otherwise, oh no, that's right. Oh, that was good. So that's on analog. It'll come along, pass up there. On digital, push the button on your controller. Solenoid activates and change lanes. Right, I'll continue this on once I get the parts I need to finish the thing off. Thanks for watching.